In my business, I get to talk with some incredible people doing amazing things, entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches. Jodi Furraitti is no exception. I sat down with this amazing woman recently, had a really fantastic interview about how she's lighting it up, what she's doing, and I know you're going to love this discussion with Jodi. Let's go take a listen. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining this episode of Giant TV. I'm Paul Hitchcock, the founder and president of Giant Jacks Media, where we help others to grow and nurture their business. And really excited to have Jodi Furraitti here with me. Jodi, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, and Jodi is an executive recruiter and career coach doing some really interesting things in the franchise space. Jodi, you and I obviously have talked off of the show here. And just, your background's fascinating, and I know others will enjoy hearing about what you're doing. So let's get into it. How did you get started? Go to the beginning, and let's take it from there.
Well, thanks, Paul. Number one, let me thank you for having me on the show. I greatly appreciate it. I think it's really cool and exciting things that you do here with this. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
This all started because, like everybody else, it's gone through a lot of things in the last few years. I lost my job. I was in the automotive industry, and things change, and due to the environment, I lost my job. So
Right.
I started looking around for something. My background is supply chain and logistics, focusing on automotive. And, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff going on in the market where I could walk back into, another opportunity, at the same salary range that I was doing and things like that. So I looked out there and I was like, what am I going to do? I found a career coach, great guy, worked with him. He said, why don't you start looking about, businesses for yourself and working for yourself? And I said, you know what? That's a great idea. I said, that's what my dad did. My dad was an entrepreneur.
Okay. And Jodi, did you have the career coach before you left your last job, or after the job you went and got the career coach?
I went and got him afterwards when I was kind of floundering out there saying, I've been doing, supply chain and logistics for the last 25 years.
Right.
I'm kind of bored with it.
Yeah.
What else is out there? I want to do something different. I want to get out there and do something where I'm actually making an impact on people's lives and helping people. That was my big thing.
Okay. And you had your dad, you had in the blood, your dad was doing it. So it was in the DNA. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, he worked with me to say, okay, what are some of the different things that you want to do or you could do where you're going to reach out and impact people and really help them? And, we reflected back in my career of what was some of your favorite things about what you did, and recruiting and working with the people and interview process and things like that, hiring folks. That was one of the things that I loved about my job.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of focused on that a little bit. And, March of 2020, in the beginning of the pandemic to boot, I purchased a recruiting franchise,
Wow.
Patrice and Associates.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Here I am 2 years later.
What a leap. What an awesome leap. And, a lot of confidence it took. Yeah. Huge leap. Well, how was that starting out? Was it just insanely crazy, or you just got hyper organized, in the beginning there?
Well, I kind of chuckle about it the way it started because, I was starting everything in February. I was, signing my franchise papers and things like that, and super excited. And then 2 weeks, or not even 2 weeks before my franchise training, is when everything with COVID started really happening and all the shelter in place started happening.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I just dumped all this money into this business that I'm supposed to start. COVID's happening. Everybody's closing down. I'm a recruiter. Nobody wants to, who's going to talk to me at this point?
Right.
But, I went through the training, and, 2020, I'll be the first to admit, it was a rough year.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't make a whole lot of money last year.
Right.
Or 2 years ago. But, as the end of the year started coming around and the first quarter of 2021, things started coming back alive. People started hiring again. Businesses were reopening. And 2021, was really what I call my first year, because I don't count 2020. It was
No,
horrible.
a lot of
I'm
people
not
like
going to
that.
make
Yeah.
any bones about it. It was
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
a good year.
Right. Right.
But last year was really good. I probably hit 65 to 70% of the goal that I had for myself.
Nice.
Um, and I was happy with that, because really
Right.
the first quarter was pretty dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and it really, like, April is when it started hitting.
Yeah.
And it's just been growing and growing ever since. And I'm trying to grow my business every day and trying to network and get my name out there.
Yeah, it's an amazing story that challenge you overcame, and I'm wondering, when you're going through that, pandemic hits, you're starting a new business, uh, how do you mentally stay focused? I mean, do you have that in you, or you're just okay, I'm going to conquer this no matter what, or what is it?
It was a couple things that you just said. Number one, it was tough. There was times where I was like, oh my God, what did I do?
Yeah,
Because this business is what I need to support myself.
right,
Um, you know, I'm I'm single, so I don't have any other household income besides what I'm bringing in.
right,
So that's a motivator in itself.
mm-hmm,
If I don't work, I don't make money.
right,
So,
right,
there is a lot of other franchisees that I work with that, we have a really good camaraderie, and, we kind of use a buddy system a lot of
that's
times. There's
great,
a few of them that I'm close with
that's great,
that, a couple times a week we talk, we motivate
right,
each other, and, you have to have that can-do attitude.
right,
And
right.
for me, there is no other attitude to have, because this is the business I have. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to make it work come hell or high water.
Right, yeah. And you and I both mentioned we both like wine, so maybe wine helped too along the way,
Well, there might have been a little bit of that. There might have been a little bit of that.
Oh man. Well, then, as far as the franchise business goes, drill down a little bit there for me. What exactly are you doing, and who are you talking to or want to talk to?
Well, client development is really what I've been trying to focus on, building up my clients. I do a lot in the hospitality business. So, from a franchise perspective, you know, a lot of the franchisees that I work with, they are focused on hospitality as well. I'm trying to branch out a little bit.
Right.
I'm doing a little bit in the legal world, doing, like I said, hospitality, and I'm starting to dabble a little more in construction.
Okay.
So I've been working with some clients on the construction side, looking for things like project managers,
Mm-hmm.
that type of job,
Mm-hmm.
some executive level sales, um,
Right.
folks, account managers.
So
So
it's a
is that
for
what you mean
yeah,
by from
yeah,
the
yeah,
franchise
yeah,
side of
yeah,
it?
yeah, the franchise side of it. So I mean, you're constantly networking, building up a database
Absolutely.
of people, and developing your community.
Hmm.
Interesting. And uh, are these people all over the country then, obviously?
Yes. We have territories, but we don't. So, I can sign clients as long as they're in, my circle of influence, or, somebody first say, you're in California, I'm here in Florida. You can call me up tomorrow and say, hey, Jody, this is Paul. Hey, I got a buddy that, he has this great business. He's located in Fort Myers. Can you help him out? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or you can call me up and you can also say, hey, I got a buddy that lives down here in, your favorite part of wine country. And, he's looking for whatever the case might be, an
Right.
account manager for wine sales. Can you help me out? Absolutely, I can.
Yeah.
Call me up. I'd be more than happy. I work with folks all over the country. So
Yeah.
yeah, doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah.
Could be Canada.
Could be can't go everywhere. So, and what
Mhm.
does your day look like? I mean, you get up in the morning. Are you on phone calls, Zooms all day long? Is it like, what are you doing?
I do both, actually.
Yeah.
I get up in the morning and I come into my office and I log on, and, I do a lot of phone interviews with folks. Sometimes I do a lot of Zooms. It just depends on the day. And it depends on the job too.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what the job is and the candidates, it's always easier, in my opinion, to be able to look at somebody when you're talking to them, to get
Oh
those
yeah.
facial features and their reactions to different questions.
Yeah.
And it all, you get to know somebody a little bit better when you're talking to them face to face versus over the phone.
Yeah.
So, I schedule my day in blocks. I have certain times where, I am fully focused on, recruiting calls and calling candidates and talking with candidates.
Right.
And I, just like now, see, I have somebody calling in right now, but boom. I also have a separate time where, I work on my client development. So I might be calling, potential prospective clients, or I'll block off part of my day and I'll actually go out, get in my car, drive out and go and visit, different businesses, introduce myself, do some networking, and try and build my client base that way as well. So
Okay.
it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, mixed bag. And
Mhm.
when you're working with somebody, you're trying to place them, do you get involved in helping them to make sure they're putting their best foot forward? I mean, this is like resume, LinkedIn profile, all those things. Do you do that?
Absolutely. I will totally work their resume up for them. When they come to me, they might have a fabulous resume. And if they do, that's great. But those people are in the minority.
Right.
Because, people don't they only do a resume when they're looking for a job.
Right. Right. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
something that somebody goes, well, hey, it's Tuesday. I should probably update my resume today.
I know. No,
You know,
nobody thinks about it. Nobody thinks about it.
Nobody
No.
thinks about it.
No.
And, I want my candidates to present themselves in the best way they can.
Yeah.
So I'll go through, I'll work the resume for them. We'll do it together on the phone.
Okay.
We'll talk about their LinkedIn profile.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about, how to present yourself in front of prospective employers. I provide, a really good list of questions for people to be prepared to answer.
Right. Right.
A list of questions for them to ask, because there's nothing worse than going into an interview and a hiring manager might say, hey, do you have any questions for me? The worst thing you can do is go, no, I think I'm all set. You always want to have a couple questions in your
Right.
back pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make sure you know who you're applying to. Do the research on the company
Right.
as much as you can.
Yeah.
So I'll go through a lot of prep work just to make sure they're ready for their interviews. And it's, depending on the position, there might be 2 interviews, there could be 6, so you put a lot of time and energy into these candidates, making sure that they walk in and they're presenting themselves the best way they can.
Is it
Because when they present themselves, they're representing me as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, it's a reflection of you. And are they? Is there a lot of competition right now for positions, or like what's the landscape looking like?
It's crazy right now, Paul. It really is. It's a candidates market.
Oh,
So
okay.
it is. There's way more. There's the candidates can walk in because there's a lot of jobs. So the candidates are choosing what they want. They're not going in hoping they can get a job. They're going in and saying, I need this much. And the employers are actually going, okay, all
Wow.
right. Because
Wow.
they're desperate.
Right.
Folks don't answer ads like they used to. They don't return phone calls like they used to. Um, it's crazy. So when you get a good candidate, you have a good candidate and they can pretty much probably get whatever they want at this point.
That's unreal, and that's across many different industries.
It's
It's not.
across a lot of industries, the majority of them right now.
Huh.
Absolutely.
Why is that? Is it because there just was a? I mean, what's that? What has caused that?
The majority of it's been COVID. I mean,
COVID.
even outside of hospitality, you know, look at we'll look at the supply chain today, right? You go into the grocery store, and I'm assuming California is probably similar. There's a lot of stores that still have a lot of empty shelves.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
missing a lot
Yeah.
of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that not only goes to the food distributors, but it goes to, companies that are processing the food, canned
Right.
goods, things like
Right.
that. So,
Yeah.
you know, it impacted everybody. So all the industries are hurting right now. They had to
Right.
let go of a lot of people.
Right.
Um, it's still taking 6 months to, order kitchen appliances. So, you can order a refrigerator today and there's a good chance it's what, March? You might
Backed
not
up.
get it until August, September.
Right. 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 Yeah.
So those impacts are still happening because they laid off so many people. And
Mm-hmm.
getting these people to come back to work has been a challenge for everybody.
Very interesting. Where are you going with your business, Jody? I mean, where do you see this, 2, 3, 5 years down the road?
Well, I'm in the process of learning how to scale my business right now. I definitely want to grow it. I do have a couple recruiters now on my team, but I'm definitely moving forward to continue to build and build. I want to be able to have the recruiters on my team do the majority of the work, where I
Right.
can focus on, planning and strategy and goals moving forward. That's where I
Mhm.
want to be in 5 years. It's
Yeah.
going to take some time to get there, but that's where I want to be.
Yeah, nice, nice. And two recruiters you're working with now, you're integrated with them, and you're kind of a team and help and moving forward on things. Yeah,
Yeah, they're virtual.
yeah,
One just, they just started this week actually. Put them through training, and they're going to be virtual, and it's the best way to do it.
right.
I work out of my home, so I don't want the brick and mortar kind of office. I like to keep my costs down, keep my overhead as low as I can.
Sure, sure.
And with this day and age, remote work, it's the way to go.
Yeah,
People are more productive. They're more comfortable when they can work from home. You have, less absenteeism due to, oh, my kids are sick, or,
right.
whatever the case might be. So being virtual, and it's working out great.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a great story, and yeah, I've just been, it's fascinating to see in the worst sort of climate how you climbed out of it, and moving forward, you're locked into a new strategy. It's fantastic, and really appreciate you coming on the show, Jodi. I obviously you and I will stay in touch. I'd love to track the progress of what you're doing, and for all of you listening, to get a hold of Jodi, you want to learn more about what she's doing, chat with her. Her information will be around this video, wherever you're watching this, because we stream this on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and many other places. I don't know where it shows up some of the time, but Jodi's information will be around the video. Easy to contact. Jodi, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me, Paul. I appreciate it.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
All right, bye.